everyone, it's Charlton, and Alex Jones is being sued by parents from Sandy Hook, of the Sandy Hook victims in a lawsuit in Houston, Texas, where his studio is located and his business is located. I'm filming, I'm also live on Periscope right now, and I was just talking about it, and now I'm making a video about it. So, it's three parents of Sandy Hook are suing Alex Jones, two parents of one child and one parent of another child for defamation. And actually, they've included Owen Schroyer in Good Morning, Venom Pit 31. They included Owen Schroyer in the lawsuit. So, I don't know if that's kind of like a divide and conquer thing going on there or what, but it's it's a little shocking, it is. And I was explaining on Periscope that since I make videos about whatever, the Las Vegas shooting, and I don't claim anybody's a crisis actor, and I never have. I don't really believe in it. I didn't know until recently. I just started making videos like a year ago. I didn't even know what a false flag was until like Lift the Veil explained it in one of his videos. And then I understood. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. But, I don't really necessarily always believe in these concepts, but some of the topics interest me a lot, like Las Vegas shooting, and don't necessarily agree with what's being reported and etc. But back to the lawsuit. So, three parents are suing him from Sandy Hook, and so it's Neil Heslin, and he's the father of a 6-year-old boy in the shooting, and Leonard Posner and Veronica De La Rosa. God. Who lost their own little boy, filed suits in Austin, Texas. They're filing for $1 million each, in damages from Jones, Infowars, and a related company, Free Speech Systems, LLC. Infowars reporter Owen Schroyer is also named in one of the suits. And the attorney is Blankston, who's also representing the person in Massachusetts who's suing Alex Jones over the claiming that he falsely identified him as the Florida shooter in Parkland, and his name is I don't want to jump around. His name is Blankston's also representing a client in Massachusetts, Marcel Fontaine, who sued Infowars in March for publishing a photo of him under the headline, "Reported Florida shooter dressed as communist supported ISIS." That was in quotes. The real shooter in Parkland, Florida massacre that took 17 lives and injured 17 others on February 14th, 2018 was 19-year-old student Nicholas Jacob Cruz. So Bankston. It's Blankston, not Bankston. It is Bankston. Bankston is the attorney representing the Sandy Hook parents suing Alex Jones, as well as the person who says Alex Jones falsely claimed he was the Florida shooter. And he's of the Houston firm Farrer and Bell. So Jones and Schroyer did not immediately respond to requests for comments. Heslin's suit focuses on what he called a heartless and vile claim of Schroyer's that the father lied in an interview with NBC News' Megyn Kelly about holding his dead son's body. So let me just paraphrase, because I don't want to read this word for word. And I wasn't making, this was back in 2012. I wasn't making videos in 2012. So I only vaguely know this story, but apparently this father had said to Megyn Kelly, and I'm just paraphrasing, in an interview that, he was holding his son with a bullet hole in his son's head. And what Owen Schroyer was saying in his coverage of the event, I'm paraphrasing, was that that's not possible because everybody identified the bodies by photos and nobody actually physically, was there with their children that were killed. Now, I don't even know. I don't really know. I'm just saying that's what I think the two sides are claiming. But so, days after the segment aired, Schroyer told Infowars viewers that Heslin could not have held his son because victims were identified through photographs, not in person. That's not something you would just misspeak on, Schroyer said during an interview during the June 26th, 2017 broadcast, which Jones himself plugged a month later. 2017. But that claim is manifestly false. Heslin's suit says the children's bodies were eventually turned over to their parents for the funerals. Okay, so, you know, I mean, that's what, like, even if you read what the complaint of, like, because Alex Jones is talking about an interview that Anderson Cooper had with somebody at the school or something like that, and because of the video, it was glitchy, and there was something wrong with it. And Alex Jones was saying that it was fake or that it wasn't real because, you know, their green screen was messing up. You know, and it turned out that Alex Jones was probably wrong about that. You know, that it wasn't the green screen. It was just the video codeking thing that wasn't proper. You know, but the thing is that it's just a simple mistake. You know, I mean, in terms of Alex Jones, he sees the glitch in the video. Everybody sees it. You know, and he interprets it. You know, as he says that that's not real. So I'm just saying, you know, everything's not black and white clear, and I don't know that, I don't know. Nobody's perfect in everything that you see, and, you know, it's not as though, Anderson Cooper and CNN, they, like, you know, they correct it and make sure, like, listen, there were some little, you know, little glitches in the video, so we just want to make sure you understand that that was because of this and that, and because it was the video codeking. No, I mean, you know, it just happens when you're talking about things. So, and this is what happens when you discuss things, you report on things. So back to my original point, and I know I'm just running on and on, that, you know, if you basically the public has a right to know about these things, no matter how awful it is, and even if, like, the parents, they may not even want it to be reported by anybody, Alex Jones or otherwise, but they don't really have kind of a choice on it. It's just, it's freedom of press, it's freedom of speech, and so you don't get to pick and choose who gets to report on you. You know, it's just, you know, and I guess, you know, it's a matter of opinion and stuff like that, but it becomes a slippery slope in terms of, like, saying, you know, who can say what and so on. So that was pretty awful of me, but let me keep going. So here's Alex Jones about the Anderson Cooper interview, and let me just read what he says. It says, during the April, or this is the account of it, during the April 22nd, 2017 broadcast, Mr. Jones discussed the CNN interview with plaintiff Veronica De La Rosa and Anderson Cooper, stating, so here are and this is in quote, and this is Alex Jones, so here are these holier-than-thou people. When we questioned CNN, who is supposedly at the site of Sandy Hook, and they got in one shot leaves blowing and the flowers that are around it, and you see the leaves blowing, and they go something, he gestures, they glitch. They're recycling a green screen behind them. In the April 22nd, 2017 broadcast, Mr. Jones next showed video footage of plaintiff Veronica De La Rosa speaking with Anderson Cooper in her interview. Over this footage, Mr. Jones stated, and then we've got Anderson Cooper, famously not just with the flowers blowing and a fake, but when he turns, his nose disappears repeatedly because the green screen isn't set right. And they don't like to do live feeds because somebody might run up. CNN did that in the Gulf War and admitted it. Mr. Jones' assertion that plaintiff Veronica De La Rosa participated in a fake blue screen interview from a remote location is manifestly false. Mr. Jones' assertion that the interview did not take place in front of Edmond Town Hall is also manifestly false. The visual effects described by Mr. Jones is the result of motion compensation video compression, which would have been readily ascertainable at the time Mr. Jones made his claims. Nonetheless, after 5 years, Mr. Jones continued to push this sick lie. But again, you know, it's just an error in the video, you know, and he watches it and he sees that and he comes up with, you know, an idea of why it did that. I don't see that that's like definitive proof of anything. You know, whether it's defamation or not. I mean, he just sees it, and it looks like it's glitching. It looks like it's fake. I don't know. It's just crazy. I mean, if you got to worry about every single little thing that you say, you're going to get sued. It's just not a good thing. And then people are afraid to speak. And that is the problem. That's what I was originally saying, that the one thing I like about Alex Jones more than anything else is that when everyone else goes dark and everyone else is afraid to speak up, he's not. And no matter what he's saying, and yes, he can be crazy, man. He can be absolutely nuts. He's hilarious when he does these things. I saw the thing on Lift the Veil where he wasn't supposed to be going live, but he knew he's being filmed and he's cursing and he's saying disgusting things. He was saying disgusting things about Trump, man, about just absolutely foul stuff. But it's hilarious, but he also talks about news too, and he is a machine. He just goes and goes and goes and goes. Like I said, I don't like everything about the dude. There are some things where I just disagree with, but that's everybody. I don't agree with everything about everything with any person except myself, So, there's more particulars, but Infowars practice of disseminating. This is the Huffington Post, and they just kind of, go on and put him in a very bad light, basically trash him, It says here, and here's the attorney. I think as a father, it's a very surreal experience. Bankston, the attorney representing the Sandy Hook parents. Anyone, parents or not, who spend 15 minutes talking to one of these parents will understand immediately how vile this lie was and how genuine their plan is. But honestly, whether it's his parents or anybody who has suffered, at the death of a child, in any instance, whether it's a car incident or what, you're going to feel just wretched talking about it, So I just, we could put, it's really because it's Alex Jones and he's just a target. And so they're coming after him, I don't know. I just right now, Lift the Veil, who I was saying, he's got a concept, he's the one who taught me what a false flag is. And he's talking about the Syrian war, right? And he kind of, because the Russians are saying it was fake. The chemical attack was fake, and it was just a way to provoke the West and get us into the war. And he kind of seems like he maybe thinks that it was fake. He doesn't say that, and he's not, I'm not putting words in his mouth. But I kind of disagree with them, And, I had a point to this. My point is that we should all be able to speak our mind, and we all should be able to speak, our opinion, and we shouldn't be feared into silence where we can't talk. That's not a good thing, man. That's how you end up with, regimes where, everyone's a slave, and you can't trust anybody, and you don't know, and you have all these little snitches that tattle on the government, and, believe me, it's not good, man. You don't want that. That was a terrible point, but I'm just saying we should all be, I should be able to say things about Alex Jones and not be afraid, even though, whatever. And actually, because he's so big on YouTube, you have to watch what you say. But that's wrong. But equally as wrong is trying to make it so that he's afraid or anybody's afraid to speak. That's bad. All right, so for Sandy Hook parents, they just want the lies to stop. Even when Jones made an assurance he'd stop talking about it, that too was a lie, and on and on. I think they actually sued NBC as well, and Megyn Kelly, because they aired her interview with him. I'm almost positive they did, but there's just too much information here, and I got to wrap this up. So, court documents obtained by Gizmodo allege that Jones repeatedly spread malicious claims that the parents were part of a conspiracy to fabricate the narrative around the shooting. And the three plaintiffs are represented by Farr and Ball, attorney Mark Bankston, that's the attorney in Houston who filed another lawsuit against Jones and Infowars last month on behalf of the another individual allegedly smeared in relation to the mass shooting. Now that's the Florida thing. According to Bankston, they are the first lawsuits he's aware of in which a parent of a mass shooting victim has sued Jones. All right, I'm going to end it. And, wow, 18 minutes. Goodness gracious. Thanks for watching my videos. Please follow me on Periscope. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. Sorry for the rambling. I just kind of did it unprepared. And got to get rolling, man. I got to go to do work. All right, later, man.